Welcome back. We're not doing this immediately. We waited about 2 weeks to process, to grieve, to come to terms with the fact that despite winning in such a magnificent fashion, I was not gifted a championship. But someone did win the championship. Tyler?
I'm so happy about it. I am beyond stoked.
You can hear it in his voice.
Right?
This wasn't fun. This was rude of Jigsaw, because the only request we had was like not Monopoly. We were like, if we're gonna be tortured, let's make it fun. Let's make it monetizable. But here we are. I guess we'll.
I do gotta give props. I was throwing the biggest tantrum during this game, and I know it. And to give this spell to me was just the cherry on top of that insert word sandwich.
I think it was just I don't know who said it, but someone was like, I think he was given it so that he was forced to stay till the end of the game and watch. And I was like, that's torture. Let's get into it. The sooner we can close this chapter of our lives, the better. We have the rule. No, we have the box fit first. That's why I opened the box. This is the box. Board, money, pieces. The money technically has a holder, but it only fits if the money's vertical, which means you can't close the box. There's also this cardboard piece that blocks half of the box. Out of 10.
I'm gonna be fair. No matter how much I hate this game, I'm gonna be fair. The actual box itself is not bad, but I gotta say the money management and the fact that it can really get all mixed together is probably the worst thing that they could have been done for a game like this. I'm gonna give it like a 3.
I was going to honestly give it a 4. I think, especially if you're going to have this piece of crucial game equipment, because this holds all the houses and hotels and then all the money. If you're going to have this, you need to make it in a way that it can hold that stuff while it's in the box. The original, like the older Monopolies had that concept.
I had like my grandmother was like incredibly old, for those who don't know this, and she had like one of the original Monopoly boxes. Mm-hmm. She probably still has it, or had it at the house. But I believe it actually had slots for every one of the money and for both of the cards.
Yes. The older games did have like it would just sit there. And the other thing, like if we were basing it off of the older games that they made in the 90s, I've talked about this in an older post-match. I hate the 4 corners version of a game because in the olden days, it would be a bit thinner, but it would hold this. And that was, the game board was just used to hold everything down, which was a much better storage design.
It does feel a little inefficient to fold that into a smaller square for the box to be a longer
longer, yes.
And then you understand. You're going.
Who is this? Parker Brothers? Hasbro?
Hasbro.
Oh, yeah. You guys. I have so much beef with Hasbro. Next up, we have the rule book. This is a cute little novel.
Yeah.
So I didn't read this because I didn't have the time. Jigsaw read it, and then my wife read it separately to kind of help facilitate stuff. I would honestly give these rules a 7, and that's only because they do cover a lot of ground.
This is as much as I hate this game. This game has its rules in order. There's not really a whole lot of like, oh, this rule is really like vague and I don't know how to interpret it. No, this game's been around long enough that they've like been able to like shorten it down to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the rules. I get them. I'm gonna go with a 6 because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I gave it some, because like there's a lot of stuff. There was 2 instances where I was like, no, I should be able to do this. And then we went to the rules and it was like, nope, they have actually specifically written in that very unique instance that this is how it happens. It loses points for me because, again, I hate Hasbro and the way they do things. Don't do your rule book like a sideways scroll. If you're going to make it a book, Make it a book. Make me have to flip through it like this. Don't make me get to the halfway point and then have to unfurl it. This isn't a secret. It's a board game. Give it to me as a sheet of paper, or if you need multiple sheets of paper, like I'm reading a book. Useless.
I mean, honestly, this would give you a giant piece of paper that fits in the bottom of the
To hold everything down. See? Hasbro. Listen. Hear us. Our next category is gameplay. I'm just going to pre-mark this as a 1.
No, it's not going to be a 1. Again, I as much as I hate it, I won't. So here's the thing about gameplay about this game. If you play this game, you understand, especially if you're one on losing. You can actually watch my spirit break during the game. You can see it happen. This game is like a snowball effect. You start losing, and then you just never stop. The thing, though, is the game goes on long enough to make that losing feel like at some point you're like, just get me out. I want to be out of this game. I just feel like it comes to my turn. It's like, yep, I did the thing, and now it gets worse for me.
Yep.
It's an oppressive pressure that keeps pushing you down.
So out of 10.
You ever heard Dusty Rhodes' Hard Times?
Oh, yeah.
This is on that list when he lists off all the worst things that happen to you, like textile workers be out of work, everything. Play Monopoly with your family. It's on there. I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3?
Because the game is still there. It's still playable. It's not like every second of this game is horrible. It's the game ends horribly.
Yeah. I'm also going to give this a 3. It is a game where, like, people are like, it's not actually that long. No, it is. We played it correctly. We didn't house rule anything. We played fair. When an auction came up, we didn't auction. Like, everything.
You actually made it shorter because you made the rule that you couldn't pull more money, didn't you? Like, at the end of it?
Yeah.
Like, to speed it up. You actually made a rule to try to make it shorter, and it still went up.
At the end, we stopped collecting free $200 at Pass and Go. And it's a long game. And it is a game, and again, to call throwback, there are games that are pure chance, there are games that are pure strategy, and then there's somewhere at the half point. This is a half point game where, like, there is some strategy, but bad rolls or bad, like, lands really can ruin your game.
Okay, go back, and I want you to watch Crow play this game. I want you to watch him throw.
Crow plays it like Mr. Magoo. Oh.
The first half of this game, there's a point where I said, like, Crow, what are you doing? He had like $12 to his name, and then managed to never land on another person's property and then come back and destroy everybody.
He had $12, and then in one round, all 3 of us hit that stupid hotel for $400. Crow and I used to play poker in, like, high school and college, and Crow would bet blindly and wildly, not knowing the cards or, like, the winning hands, and Crow would win so frequently, and it me off. Because I was trying to play with, like, deduction and decorum, and he'd be like, I'm gonna go up 300, and I'm like, we have a 7-4 and a king off suit. Where is this coming from? And he's like, I had a 7 and a 3 off suit, and I'm like, you rat. My hatred for Crow cannot be categorized in this, but it's
-3 if it was.
It's -3. Crow and I have known each other for a long time, and, like, he keeps getting away with this. Short-term replayability out of 5.
Out of like what?
Like, we just finished this game.
0. Like, I have never not wanted to play another game more.
I'm gonna give it a 1. We've never had someone give a 0. I will allow it for Monopoly.
If you want to do it 1 out of 5, you can give it the 1. I don't care, but every game we played on this channel. If you asked me to play again, like, right away, I'd probably be like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll play, like, another game. It's really not that bad. This one was bad.
You had to call your babysitter and tell them you were going to be late getting home.
Because it kept going. I'm losing. I have to tell someone I can't pick up my kid.
You're being held hostage.
Held
by
hostage.
a masked a-hole.
Would you play it again?
Game of bureaucracy.
Absolutely not.
Long-term replayability.
I can't
down the road, would you play Monopoly?
I cannot wait till my daughter asks to play this game.
And she will be thrown out on the street.
I will have said no, and I will give her a 60-minute speech of why no. And then she's gonna go, Dad, I'm like a what? It's
Another one.
out of what?
Out of five. This is another one out of 5.
What is
Long-term
this
replayability.
Long-
So like down the road, will you play?
No,
Monopoly?
see, this game tricks you. Because if you ask me in like 5 years, do you want to play Monopoly again? I would forget this instant about how bad it was, and be like, yeah, sure, whatever. So long-term replayability, I'm gonna give it like a 3 if you're asking me like 5 years from now. not like 6 months, not like a year.
You
but like
forget
5
the
months.
hardships, and then like by round 3, everything comes back at once, and you're like, I've made
And you're
a
just
terrible
looking
mistake.
around and you're like, oh, I didn't want to do this.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I hate Monopoly. I never want to play Monopoly. I have this game in my collection as a formality because someone said, legitimately, they're like, why don't you have Monopoly? And I was like, oh, I don't like it. And they went, I'm gonna get it for you. As if like that was going to fix it.
I have a weird question. Isn't Monopoly like one of the most downloaded games on like a platform? I can't remember if it's like PlayStation or PC or something like for online play.
Yes, during COVID, a lot of people downloaded Monopoly on like PlayStation and Xbox. It was like that and Uno was
Wasn't it,
all
there's
people
something
did.
like called like Monopoly Go or something too that's like really popular.
That's an app my wife
Oh, it's an
had.
app.
Yeah, it's all the fun of Monopoly without any of like the hard work of Monopoly. It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
It's addicting. I had to like undownload it because my wife was like, "It's a referral thing. I'll get more dice," and I was like, "Sure."
Oh, so it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
yeah,
I got it.
You get it. So out of 10,
Like the whole game.
out of 10, how do you like it? I want to stress enough. You've already scored one thing 0.
I swear I'm not being biased when I give these scores. I'm really not. They're just my educated opinion. Out of 5?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. I'm gonna give this a 2.
Okay. Just cause it sucks.
It sucks.
I'll give this a 4. It's okay. I don't like playing it. If people, like, if I'm out somewhere and someone's like, we just need one more to play Monopoly, I'm like, no, you don't, but also, like, I'll do it. I am good at Monopoly, despite my best efforts. I did asterisk win the game. There's nothing to
Good for
prove
you.
that I
Good for
did,
you.
but I did win. There's better games. Catan is like a better, newer version of this. There's several other games that take the concept of Monopoly and do it slightly better.
On a secondary note, between Monopoly and Catan, it's probably Monopoly number 1, hated Catan number 2. I hate Catan.
Your wife loves
And
it.
my wife loves it. Absolutely, probably
It's
her
my
favorite
least
game.
favorite thing. She has like 4 versions, and I'm like, I'm not gonna play any of these.
Just expansions to. I'm like, how do you expand this?
Bigger island. I think this will be my 3rd post-match in a row referencing No Worlds Barred. They just released. This is going to date when we're filming this. They released this 2 nights ago. They did Catan, but it's the apocalypse. And essentially, they got 2 of every resource, and then just got a bunch of deserts and put them out. And your goal was you had 2 settlements, 2 roads, and using just those 2 settlements and roads, build out to the sea, which was like 12 rows away, and it was just 2 guys going absolutely insane, trading horses to build roads
That
to reach the ocean.
sounds. Why did we do this to ourselves? Oh man, this is like when you watch like those people who like video games. Were like, oh, I can only use the lowest level magic skills to beat this game, or I can only use the starter pistol to beat this game. Like, yeah, it was fun for the first like 10 minutes, but you have to beat the game now doing this.
Yeah.
Painful.
The first time you're outclassed, you're like, oh, that's a challenge. Like the 20th time, you're like, well, I could just get a better gun.
I've watched a man do the entirety of Dark Souls with only his hands. You know, dumb. You know,
Yeah, but why?
Why build out to the sea? Why do anything?
These are calculated. This is, to the surprise of absolutely no one, this is the worst scored game on the
Really?
channel. I said before we filmed, our previously lowest scoring game was 37, and it was 12 days.
I mean,
That was still fresh. We didn't really have the number system fully figured out yet. It's like
It was
37 was
an
okay.
okay game. I don't remember who did that one, but it was.
It was you or Crow. I scored this game 21 out of 50. Tyler, with your 1-0 and only one score above 5, scored this a whopping 17.
Wow, that's higher than I thought it was going to be.
Without the rules, which
Oh.
you said you generously gave a 6 because they were well thought out, it is 11.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, 17 out of 50. This Monopoly sucks, bros.
I'm watching Jigsaw from across the room just crack up about this entire talk. Just absolute.
If the next time we lose the belt, if Jigsaw pulls Monopoly out again, I'm unionizing. I'm saying no.
The worst part is they would pull out a different version of Monopoly. Like, it's not even the same game.
Yeah, it's different outcome. We have. I don't know if we're gonna do it anymore. I'll spoil something. If we get to December,
Oh, we get there.
at my wife's who's to
The
say?
end of the world. Wait,
At my wife's behest, the third Avatar Fire and Ash, is coming out in theaters.
there's 3 of them?
Yeah, they're on their third. We have Avatar Monopoly. And she was like, you have to play it to coincide with the release. And I was like, we'll see.
Can we just start a fire?
We could.
I have a game that involves fire. We can just do that one instead.
We will, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll see if we're in a good enough space, because I think it's a much more streamlined Monopoly. Like, instead of buying properties, it's like, okay, you're all working together to build bases around the map. The RDA is just trying to tear down bases. You have to
Okay.
protect a tree.
Hold on. So it's not Monopoly, but it is Monopoly?
Pretty much. They're getting really loosey-goosey with the Monopoly concept. We'll see if we're doing that in December. We got a lot going on. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
My tantrum was well deserved. This game deserved it.
It's very valid. This has been Post-Match. I'm James, this is Tyler. We will see you guys next month for a new game. It's your birthday, so you'll be getting to decide
I
what
get to
game
pick
is.
the game.
Recompense.
Yay. I don't know, hopefully I pick something fun. I've never played it before, but hopefully it's fun.
We will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.